You're watching Community Conversations, a Concord TV production.
And welcome back to another special edition of Community Conversations. I'm your host, Josh Hardy, the Executive Director of Concord TV. And today we're going to be discussing the impact that the COVID-19 pandemic and health crisis is having on our downtown Concord. And with me I have three guests who are going to tell us about sort of, with the couple of days that this has been happening, how they're dealing with it, and sort of how we move forward from here. So with me I have Dawn from Intown, we have Melissa from Hermanos, and Michael from Gibsons. So thank you to the three of you for coming in. I know it's been kind of this crazy whirlwind of surreal is what, when you would come in, Michael, it's just this surreal experience. Dawn, let's start with you sort of. How has this impacted Intown Concord and your day-to-day activities?
Day-to-day, we've moved to remote working. So we're in two different locations. We're constantly talking to each other, either through phone, email, texting. Because we don't have a lot of traffic coming into our office, we decided to work remotely. Before we left, we cleaned everything, and we're just being cautious. But we're still in contact with our downtown merchants, our downtown businesses and retailers, and a lot of people downtown, a lot of the corporations, the attorneys and financial businesses, they're also working remotely. So it's really, it's not impacting us. We're still business as usual. We're still working and moving forward with talking to everyone on a daily basis, seeing what's going on, seeing how we can help them push out information, whether it's not specials, but their hours or store hours, what's going on, anything that we can do. We're just going, day by day. Because everything changes day by day. But we just want to, business is normal for us on our side because we can work remotely.
Now you say day by day, and we just in the last couple of days had developments where restaurants can't have customers sitting in the restaurant. It has to be takeout or delivery only. So at Hermanos, I'm curious, how have you guys, just in a couple days to kind of figure out, okay, what do we do here? What has Hermanos started doing, and sort of how is that transition process going?
Well, like you said, it really is day to day, and we're just sort of winging it at the moment. But, as soon as we found out on Monday afternoon, we came up with a plan to stay open for our regular business hours. I reached out to all of my employees and, try to find out who needs to work the most, because obviously I don't need nearly as much staff to run just takeout as I do to run 4 dining rooms. So we're trying right now to stay open as long as we can for takeout only, and we've had a pretty good response so far. Certainly not the regular number of patrons coming in that have in the past. We also offer curbside delivery now, so we're not set up to bring food to your home, but certainly we can bring it out to your car, so you don't need to come into the building. Not many customers have chosen that option, but it is there, and we are reduced our price on gift certificates. We're offering 10% off up to $200, and then 15% off anything more than that. Just trying to keep a little cash flow going so that we can keep as many employees working as possible and hold on as long as possible.
Okay, well, kudos to you guys for just dealing with an adapting situation. And we'll come back to Hermanos for other questions. But Michael, when it comes to Gibsons now, I guess the question I have is, I'm not sure, so can customers still walk into Gibsons? Is your bookstore open for people to walk in and purchase books still? And then also, how else has your business model perhaps changed just in the last couple of days?
Well, they used to talk about the 24-hour news cycle. Now it feels like 24 minutes, honestly. Yep. We've made some dramatic changes. We're still open to the public. We've shortened our hours. We're now open from 10:30 to 5:30 Tuesday through Saturday, and closed on Sunday and Monday. But so we've cut back on staff in order to do that as well. And we've closed one of our entrances, and we've set up a sanitation station at the one entrance that people can come into, so that they can have a little bit of dash of Purell when they get in. But we do urge people to wash their hands with soap and water as soon as they get to the store and as soon as they leave. And we have sanitation procedures all day long. One thing that's happened just in the last few days is that our online business has exploded. And these are orders not just from the local area, which we sure appreciate, but also from people all over the country who really support independent bookstores and businesses in general. So we've been very grateful for that. But what's happened is we've changed from primarily a retail store to sort of a warehouse that ships in the last 36 hours. It's been an amazing transformation, and we're still working out, organizationally how that works and operationally. But it's been very successful so far. But that said, I think eventually, in order to flatten the curve, as they say, we're all going to have to be closed for a period of time, and we're going to be ready for that. Our goal now is to keep all of our people on staff with reduced hours, and the state of New Hampshire actually makes it easy to file for what's called a work share program, where you can reduce people's hours in place, and they can file for unemployment without having to jump through the hoops that ordinarily you have to jump through. I think that plan will quickly be superseded by whatever specific action the state takes on this later, to make sure everybody can still eat and live in their houses. But for now, that's been a great program. We've just applied for it, and we're waiting for that to start to take effect. But yeah, like I said, the situation just changes rapidly every day, and so we're just trying to be responsive to it and still serve our customers and make sure everybody's safe.
Okay, so that's a good start for this conversation. Now, Don, to bring it back to you, as part of your mission at Intown Concord, which is to promote downtown activity, what are some of, I know you come up with all kinds of creative ideas, and I saw you had this sort of bingo sheet, and maybe any other ideas that you've had just over the last couple days. Go ahead, throw them at us. Throw the ideas at us.
I think the bingo is just a fun way to get involved with the downtown community. It's really, if you can't go downtown, you can still support all the merchants and all the businesses downtown by shopping online and going to their specific website. It could be Gondwana, it could be Fabulous Boutique, it could be it could be Arnaldo, it could be any of them. You go to their website specifically and purchase online. Gibsons, you going and doing the takeout and delivery option, or curbside option with any of the restaurants. You have to eat. You still have to, work. Some of us don't have the luxury of working from home or working from an outside location. So they're still working. You can order wish lists. A lot of the nonprofits around Concord and the downtown community have absolute wish lists. You can order stuff online and have it direct shipped to their agency. Call them and offer support. Say, how can I help you? Even remotely. It could be working on their website. It could be doing maybe some clerical work, or I don't know. Being creative and offering your services, especially if you're at home. And the other thing is, this is a time while we're cooped up in the house to explore and get to know your family again. And that, when I was growing up, we didn't have all the conveniences that we have today. So I had to play with my brother, or fight with him, or just go outside and take a deep breath. And really, if you can be creative in ways of supporting our downtown businesses. I don't have to come up with all the ideas. There's so many other creative people. Just take a walk. You can go on Facebook, or you can go on Yelp and write some positive reviews to them and say, hey, they've been doing this. Now Michael has, an incredible shipping department and warehouse. So there's a lot of books that you can start reading, and not just on your Kindle or any of your electronic devices, but actually use a real book, and which to me is the best. The best. I love the smell of books, and just get busy. Thank their small business for their direction. Thank a small business for their dedication to trying to stay open. There are a lot of employees that they're not just thinking about themselves. They're thinking about everybody that they serve, everybody that works for them. They're responsible for all their employees, and they're coming up with ways to keep them to pay their bills, and just be a part of our community.
Yeah, and that's, mentioning employees, and Michael sort of was bordering talking about this as well, that I have friends who work in the service industry and friends who have already been impacted just in the last 4 days by this. How are your employees feeling? How are they doing? I mean, it's a situation that really none of us can control. We're all kind of just doing and adapting the best we can. Generally, how are they feeling? And because we care about those people who work for us, almost above anything else. Start with Melissa.
I think a lot of my employees are scared and are nervous about, paying their rent and providing food for their family, and, how long this is going to take to bounce back. And really, like the front of the house staff that are tipped employees, they've been affected for a couple of weeks now, because even before we were mandated to only be open for dine-in, there was really a drastic cut in business because people were already taking extra precautions trying to protect themselves. I'm not forcing anybody to come to work that's not comfortable with coming to work. The first thing that, I said, nobody's going to be penalized for not coming in. Whatever you need to do to keep yourself safe is what we will support, and everyone will have a job when this is over and we come out on the other side of it. So I have, a small number of employees that have chosen to stay home and don't want to work at all, and that's fine. They're taking care of their kids and cleaning their houses and taking care of their elderly parents, that sort of thing. I have another subgroup of employees that really needs to work as much as possible. So, Jane, the owner of Hermanos, and I are coming up with projects that we can do even when we're not open for dine-in business, some deep cleaning, some painting. If it stops snowing, maybe some outdoor work around the building. So we're trying to be creative in creating at least some hours for these employees that really are counting on us to get them through.
Yeah, to have a level of empathy for employees, flexibility and empathy, that everyone has different situations.
Absolutely.
And how they are going to deal with this and get through this situation. Michael, how about you?
Yeah, everybody's anxious about all of this, and we just try to stay in touch with everybody and make sure that they understand that we are all in the same boat together. I can't emphasize enough how important it is for everybody to support their local businesses and local culture at a time like this, because we're going to get to the other end of this at some point, and we want to have this town at the other end of it. Concord's a great city. It's got a lot to offer. Hermanos is a fantastic restaurant. I was just there the other night. Yeah. And I was just saying, if only tequila could combat the virus.
We'd be doing really well right now.
That's right. That's right. But yeah, gift cards, gift certificates, it's very important, because these are basically IOUs that you can cash in when things return to normal or almost normal. And so it's a great way to provide really necessary cash flow for your local businesses at a time like this. But yeah, we're making sure, self-care, we implore all of our employees and our customers to do as much self-care and taking care of themselves and reducing the anxiety levels and maintaining their own health as possible, because self-care really can improve your immune system and your outlook on life. So.
I agree, and it's keeping that positive outlook during these trying times, and sometimes just writing it out on a piece of paper and just kind of saving it and going back a couple of days and seeing how you feel. It's doing the nice things. All we've been hearing about is all the negative and all the fighting and the rush for all the supplies, and we have to give everybody, the store owners and the businesses and grocery stores and distribution centers, a chance, to fill everything and not go into that panic. Just everything is closing, whether it's the gyms and the stores, or right now, the only thing that's really pretty much limited will be your retail stores. A lot of them are open. You can do that. Oh, where I was going to go with that too, your cultural, especially downtown, the Capitol Center for the Arts, Bank of New Hampshire, Red River, some of those organizations, they've cut and canceled their shows. So one of the big things that we've been advocating is don't ask for refunds. They have to keep their doors open. They have to pay for staff. but ask for, let's do a credit. That way they can you push it towards a different show. I think that makes a really big difference. I know everybody's kind of scrambling. Where are we going to pay our bills? What are we going to do? But there's aid out there. The state is doing a great job. The city's doing a great job in pushing the information out for store owners, shop owners, business owners, along with their employees. And it's just a matter of being patient, being kind, being nice. And I say that a lot, be nice. There's a little sign on my door, be nice as you walk in and out.
Yeah.
It's important, and let's not all dwell on the negative. There are some positive moments. They're small and few and far between, but they're coming. And everything is changing minute by minute, day by day, and we just have to all rally together and see how we can support our community. The saying that it takes a village to raise a child. Well, it takes a community to support a community to keep that community alive. And that's what we're doing. We're all getting together. If people have information, if there are jobs, that's a great opportunity to keep your employees working and doing. We're putting together a list of those businesses or that have those type of jobs available, and those other employees, displaced employees, that their hours have been cut, that they need that second job, so to speak, so they can go out into the community. And it could be, I won't say pulling weeds because we have snow, but it could be the deep cleaning, it could be the painting, the sprucing up. This is the perfect opportunity to do that, to really deliver and help our community by doing these odd jobs. Not that we can go into nursing homes, everything's been restricted, but what can we do for the elderly? What can we do for those that are, immunosuppressed, compromised? What can we do that are not, I don't say that I'm working 8, 9, 10 hours every single day. I've got some gaps of time going, okay, Mark Zuckerberg has not given us a paycheck yet, so I need to take a break. So I really how can we help you? I don't know the answers, but you do. You're on the front lines. These businesses are on the front lines. So how can we help them? Aside from me creating a bingo game, then it's more of a checklist of what we can do in a fun way. Again, be creative, be supportive. If you see a trucker, buy them a meal, if you can. If you see a harried shop owner, buy them a meal.
Right.
Just
Yeah.
or a little shot of tequila. It's bringing and again, I realize funds are low, and I get everybody's panicking, and that hoarding thing just really, really bothers me. I'm still trying to figure out the TP. I don't understand it, but I just think that if we all work together, it'll be a nicer. We'll come out of it faster and happier instead of the doom and gloom. That's just me.
All about the positivity and figuring out. Concord TV, we're the same way. Mike and I aren't doom and gloom. Maybe Mike is. Does he look sad over there? I don't know. But that reminds me, since I'm calling out my staff, Matt and I, who I'm embarrassing him, he's directing the show right now. Yesterday, he and I were talking about sort of an issue like this about restaurants and whether you can go into them. And I think there's sort of a misconception because something Matt had kind of said was about a particular pizza place here in Concord was, I'm not sure if I can go in there. And so when in doubt, I guess the solution would be call that establishment and ask them what the options are.
Yes.
Absolutely.
People just don't pick up the phone anymore. It's like, well, I got to find a way to text them. No, pick up the phone and call them.
Just
they'll
quick
answer
call
if
and
they're there.
ask. I saw that the Concord Monitor has like a list that they've been updating of different retailers and shops and restaurants and what their hours are and what their policy is, or if they closed. Because sometimes companies can't update their Facebook page, especially since this all is just happening now. So sometimes you might check a Facebook page and it might not be updated.
It might be updated.
It might be different tomorrow.
Yeah, or
So-
the
haven't
Google page,
updated it yet.
We had actually, Intown Concord had actually sent out a list to our downtown merchants and businesses and whatnot to get a comprehensive list. There's so much information out and everybody's updating that actually the Concord Monitor reached out to us and said, hey, we love your list. Can we take it? And can we put it?
Well, I'm sorry. So I gave them credit for your
But
list.
no.
Yeah.
I think it's important that we
That was
all
in
work
Town
together.
Concord's
It's a collaborative effort because once he
Absolutely,
pushed out information, once we started spreading the word, then more and more businesses are getting together.
Yeah.
I feel that, and then you start seeing a lot of things on social media. This one's running a group, and this one's creating a list, and this one's. So everything that I get, I'm pushing to the monitor because they have a bigger outreach than I possibly have. We're there. We do have a large audience, but they have a larger audience, and then it just kind of takes fire. So you just kind of think about it. The restaurants and bars. Some are actually closed, and because they are small business, very small. Some are 1 or 2 employees, and they felt the risk was it was better for them to close and take an extended vacation versus opening and taking, and 1 or 2 customers coming up to them. They had to outweigh, they had to kind of balance, the goods, the pros and cons. Other larger restaurants and bars and whatnot, they're staying open with the takeout, curbside, and delivery. But the Concord Monitor, everything that I get, like I said, I'm pushing to them. They're posting in different ways so we can spread it out. So if there are businesses out there that haven't reached out to us yet, send me your information and we'll make sure that we get it out there, because you're right. They may not be able to update their website. They may not be able to update their Facebook page because they're worrying about running their business.
Right.
And that always takes, social media, and that kind of always takes the back, just kind of second.
And you never get everything. I mean, I just realized I haven't updated our hours on Google.
Yeah.
Yep.
So as soon
But
as as soon
there's
as
so
we
many
leave
things
today,
you have to think
Right.
of, and
Yeah.
it's hard to update everything like that.
Right.
Your website, your Google,
Right.
page, and
Yeah, I could be,
So much.
if I put it on our website, I could just be doing that all day long and not getting anything else done. So even though Intown Concord is kind of, our job is to enhance the business environment, cultural activities, housing, and of course the historic district. And we do events, and that's our biggest thing. So right now our annual meeting's on hold. Our town hall meeting is scheduled for May. Everyone's questioning market days. We don't know. Right now we're still pushing ahead. There's still planning that we can do behind the scenes and make sure that where we need to be in the case that we're pushing forward, or our board decides, let's postpone it, or what. We don't know yet.
you have time on your side.
We do, because it is the end of June, and we're just waiting. We have to take care of our business community first, and our nonprofit organizations. This is the time for us to give back because they've been supporting us for so long. And how can we do that is just spreading the word and I'm going to say being kind because that just keeps coming up. Be creative, be kind, and let us know how we can help you, because we can't come up with those ideas all the time.
Yeah, it's been so weird. I went downtown, grabbed a coffee at the Works a couple days ago, and just seeing downtown like a ghost town, nearly empty. I mean, you guys,
people have called us and say, well, where can I find parking for the curbside service? I said, it's not a problem.
Plenty of parking right now.
Yeah, we had a couple of businesses that wanted to know if they were going to make the city was going to make special exemptions for the curbside, and I think now it's
it's just free parking
It's free.
downtown, right?
Well, I want to say free
No,
parking. It's not free
no.
parking,
No?
but
How is- or-
you still put in me like a little quarter. It depends on your time. If it's going to take 15 minutes, so there's not free
I think
parking.
that's an idea that we should raise, though.
Yes.
And we probably shouldn't talk about it any further.
That's
but I
another,
think,
for another. But that might be a
Yeah.
way that to encourage people to come downtown, because it's not like downtown
Right.
has been taped off.
Well,
and that you
I
can't-
mean, is that proper policy to encourage people to come? I think there's kind of a push-pull here. We want people to come down responsibly, but we
Few
don't
at a
want to,
time.
you know what I mean?
A few at a time. Call
not-
ahead.
Few at a
Kind of
time,
like
yeah.
that,
Call
yeah.
ahead.
not
Yeah,
in groups, but
yeah.
if they call ahead and that they check with Gibsons and say, well, I'm gonna pick up these books.
Yeah,
like,
we actually, we've
curbside.
done
Yep.
some curbside. I actually delivered some books the other day to somebody who, by coincidence, had the flu.
Oh boy.
So I just left them on her porch.
There you go.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it's it's an evolving situation that we just have to be
Right.
ready
Yep.
to be creative with.
At first I thought the social distancing was just, it was being blown out of proportion. But again, there are demonstrations, there are experts in the field of the reasoning behind it. So you just want to be cautious. I mean, you do have to go to the grocery store. You do need something to read. You do need to eat. So you do that. I'm here going, oh, maybe I should stop in the co-op and pick up what I need because I'm already here. well, okay, what is it really? Is it taboo? Should I not go in the store? So even with me, there's that the sense of precaution, but you know what? As long as we stay apart and you know we cough into our arms or you know we take those precautions. Wash your hands a lot.
Yeah.
You know,
If you have a hand sanitizer left, or if you can trade with someone for some hand sanitizer for toilet paper, yeah, that stuff's
Black
important.
market
Definitely
economy, it's coming. It's coming.
you know, just everybody share, be
boy.
nice,
Yep.
and work together as a team, and really just focus on getting the light. The light's coming. There is at the end, but you know, the light at the end of the tunnel. Where is it? I don't know. Is it next week? Is it in 3 weeks, in 4 weeks, in 5 weeks? Nobody really knows until. We're flattening that curve. We're just giving more opportunities so we don't overburden our healthcare system.
That's the main thing.
And
I
that's
think,
really-
this is, I think a lot of us are going to be exposed to this eventually over time, but we just have to slow it down so that it doesn't overburden the system, as you say. When getting back to one of Dawn's broader points before, I mean, so much of our economy is events driven that we don't even realize it until it goes away. Like Gibson's has had to cancel all of our events. Intown is primarily an events organization.
Yes, very much so.
And we all contribute to what our culture is locally. And when that goes away, then you have to decide, well, how do I support that so it can come back when this crisis is over? And I think it's really important for everybody to be thinking that way.
So there's a lot for us to think about, obviously, and this situation is going to keep evolving. So Dawn, certainly, you and I have talked about collaborating on a more regular basis as the national, global, statewide, local scenario changes. It could change tomorrow.
Right, absolutely.
It could have changed while we were sitting here.
I know,
That's
right? Yeah, Mike hasn't told us anything. He hasn't notified us of anything. So I assume it's all same as it was yesterday.
He's
But-
smiling, so.
Right.
Thumbs up.
Good sign, I guess, right, Mike? So I just want to thank you all for coming in,
Thanks.
and Dawn,
Thank you.
certainly let's keep collaborating. We had Tim from the Chamber in yesterday. We'll keep updated with him and with what the Chamber's doing. Let's just collaborate and stick together on this. and we'll get
Absolutely.
through it.
I think that between all the organizations, like with Tim and the Chamber and Intown and ConcordTV and our community downtown, there's, like I said, there's a lot of ideas, and we'll just keep plugging forward and pushing out information as much as we possibly can.
Okay, we'll have to leave it at that. So thank you to my guests for coming in to be on the show today. Obviously not under the best of circumstances, but we appreciate their input, and we'll take it one day at a time. So thank you for tuning into Community Conversations, and we'll see you again next time.